Terry Wright, God bless Terry Wright, had been flogging facilitation, and Ken was working with doing facilitation. Terry was supposed to have a workshop with a company out in Golden who were struggling, and Terry got sick and called Ken and asked Ken if he would please take this workshop. So Ken went out and worked with these three men all one day, I guess, and they did a workshop on what was going on with their business and their future of their business. And it became very clear to Ken that one of their issues was the woman who was working for them, who was absolutely saying no to any future projection that she wasn't comfortable with, and they didn't know how to deal with it. So, bless his heart, he said, I got somebody who should come out and work with you on what you really want in your office. So he comes home and he says, you're going out there next Saturday. So I went out and spent almost three-quarters of a day with them. And we did this huge workshop with all of the things that they would like to see happen, and particularly what they were going to look for if they could get a new office administrator. They're a geophysical company. And so at the end of the whole day, when we pulled this together, the three of them looked at each other and looked at me and said, okay, how much do you want? And I really hadn't understood it as a job application set. So I told them what I wanted, and they agreed to it, and I went back and quit Martin Marietta and worked for them for 7.5 years.
Wow.
They went from being a little 3-person, 4-person operation. Today, some of those people are still there. They're a multi-million-dollar division of Lane Geoscience and work in Mozambique and in Panama and Venezuela, you name it. They work all over the world. They've changed ownership, but it gave them a chance to become established as a geophysical company doing environmental work. And
but the other thing.
But I got
is Mark telling stories.
Oh yes. And we had to move because we'd gotten too big for the place where we were. So 1992, we moved into a very nice office building. And Mark had just come out to Golden to live with us. And he needed a job, and they needed somebody to unpack all the stuff that had been moved. So I said, I've got a suggestion. And Mark went over and went to work for them as a grunt, basically, a gopher. And ended up, when he left there 3 years ago, being their head geophysical technician. He knew as much as the engineers knew without the degree. You know, he could look at the product coming up out of the borehole, which is the little where you put the probes. He could read that faster than the engineers could. He knew what he was looking for and what he could see.